Nerds, our beds are supposed to be our safe spaces, a place to relax and recoup after a long day of facing down the outside world, a place where we can slip into the warm embrace of comfort and drift off to dream worlds as rich and vibrant and inviting as our imaginations. But that's not always what happens, is it? Sometimes we take a wrong turn, end up in the dark. And that dark can feel as real as anything ever has. That dark can draw on our most primal fears and our most illogical worries, and it can build and lose us in labyrinths of monsters and mayhem. It can make us experience fears so real we'd swear this was beyond a dream. It's probably best to talk this out on a podcast. Nerds, check under the bed. Make sure the closet's locked. Hold your stuffed animals close and turn that night light all the way the hell up. Tonight, we're talking about dreams. We're talking about nightmares and all the terrible stuff in between.
1,
2,
3,
4. Welcome to episode 31 of The Hills Have Nerds, the only podcast available in over 36 major dream worlds and lands of slumbering illusion. Shout out to our listeners in Ulthar. Don't forget to feed your cats. I'm one of your hosts, Josh, and with me, as you can see, we got the whole gang. We got Travis. Hi. We got Cody.
Hello.
We got Cody's cat. What is your cat's name?
Luna.
We got Luna. We got Lee.
Hey, folks.
And the other one.
Oh,
Cody's cat.
Cody's cat.
Yeah, my cat again.
We got Aaron.
Cody's cat. Yay. Pete last, like always.
You're all right.
Not as important as the cat.
I think I called you beautiful last time. Or no, frightening or something. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah. No, you said that it was horribly?
Hideously.
Hideously.
Hideously. And then you
Yeah.
were horrifying or mortifying or something.
I mean, it all still counts.
Death-defying.
Where's the lie?
Boys, this is our first official episode of the spooky season, and today we're going to get spooky. We're going to talk about nightmares, night terrors, dreams, and all the weird shit that happens when we're sleeping. And I'm sure we all got some stories, right?
Yeah.
One or two.
Like apnea.
I can't wait to talk about these.
You want a horror
Honestly,
story?
your sleep is terrifying for everybody else.
Yeah,
in the
that's
room.
not even. Yeah, you are a living nightmare for everybody that has to experience it, and you might be dead. You genuinely, again, for listeners that may have joined us post the Columbus trip, go back and listen to the episodes, the digital versus physical media, our interview with Lynn Bartels and Lynn Bartles and Bob and Lynn, and then there was another one we did. We did a media catch-up.
We done.
Media catch-up.
And we had to stay in a hotel room when we recorded those episodes. We did it at the Guard Tower in Columbus. Shout out to the Guard Tower. We love you guys. Hope you're all doing good. But Aaron he's got some demons. It's bad. It's real bad. And that, if you join our Ko-Fi, again, shout out to our Ko-Fi members, Nick Rosa, Brittany Johnston. Thank you for donating and supporting the show. We're going to go ahead and throw this in here. We got a Ko-Fi. If you want to support the Hills Have Nerds, go check it out. There'll be links to that in the show notes. Yeah. All that money goes to try to buy a CPAP for Aaron. He needs it in a bad way.
It's true.
So, yeah. Because he's going to leave us at some point. But before he does, let's talk about our dreams and nightmares and night terrors. Everybody, we all dream, right? Everybody here dreams.
Yeah, I have a dream.
I don't remember them most of the time, but yeah.
Travis, Lee.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
Yes.
Yeah, were you guys nodding? Sorry, I couldn't see.
Yeah, sorry. I was
They're asleep, sorry.
Slack
Pulling
jawed
stuff up.
Before we get too deep into this conversation, hi viewers. I'm going to talk directly to the viewers, not the listeners, but hi listeners. Sorry, I am eating on camera. I just got off work like 30 minutes ago.
That's actually, we should charge more to like for people to watch you eat, dude.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Can we?
It's a
If we
mukbang.
can, if you're interested in watching Travis eat, let us know. We'll include that.
We will.
Head over to the Ko-Fi.
We'll set up
Make sure your
no,
donation
camera.
is marked
No,
with why you
Yeah,
want.
we'll set up
no.
a camera down in his dungeon.
If you would like to see one of us feed Travis, we can also arrange
Whatever you
that.
want to do. We are not proud men. We're not proud men.
That's
We'll
the
do a
next
lot of
tier.
things for money.
Show mommy how piggies eat, Travis.
You want to see up inside Travis's
Come to the
dungeon?
airplane.
And today is my last episode with the Hills Have Nerds. I just want to thank you all.
Oh no!
If you want to see Travis baby bird it to somebody, make that.
Whoa.
He's officially announcing
Oh.
his OnlyFans. You want to see him step on some shit? We can get real weird with it.
What is happening?
Oh, did you see that
We're
dribble?
getting
Like a
real
little bit
weird.
of dribble
We're
from
whoring
the
you
cup
out,
from his
Travis.
mouth.
That was
good.
my tea.
Yeah, well, whatever it was, it dribbled off there. You
What else is
slut.
in that tea?
You gotta save that for the paying customers, Travis. Don't give it all up.
It's pure gold you're wasting
All
there,
right.
man.
So speaking of nightmares, so we all dream, right? Like, do you guys have vivid dreams? Like, do you like? I do.
Usually,
have
whenever I
very
remember
intense
them,
dreams.
yes.
Yeah. Aaron, Travis.
There's
I don't
a,
always- No, I don't always remember my dreams most of the time. It's a rare
Mm-hmm.
occasion that I do.
Yes, whenever I remember them, they are vivid.
yeah, mine are like there's a lyric from Sleep Token. It's the opening lyric of Take Me Back to Eden where he says, "I dream in phosphorescence." That's me.
Okay.
Like it's we'll get to that. But yes,
I dream in
have-
negative space.
I have very vivid dreams, and they're wild. They're not like, my dreams are not, banal. I rarely have like a just a mediocre. Oh, I went to work. Like the quintessential dream is, oh, I went to school in my underwear or something, right? Like I went to school in my
had that
underwear,
one.
forgot
Yeah.
something. Like, yeah, that's. I don't think anybody ever really had that one. Honestly, I have no idea. But
Not that
I did.
you did.
That's not a joke. No, I have had a recurring dream for the past, I can't tell you how many years. And it's not just school. It's like places I've never been. I had a dream once that I was naked in an airport. I've never set foot in an airport.
Okay. Is that like an exhibitionist sexual thing? Is that why you're eating on camera? Is that where
I
that's
don't
going?
know.
If you want your
I'm also
dreams
had a dream about
analyzed,
Travis naked in the airport, and for $4.99 a month, we can make that happen.
oh, here he goes. He's getting it. You're getting your money's worth.
there
You've
you
been to Kofi.
Yeah.
he thinks he's walking away, but he's just feeding it.
Preview, Travis. Show him what's up. Give him a t-shirt, Travis.
Show the boys overseas what they're fighting for.
You killed Lee.
We'll never make it
Almost
through
got
this
me.
episode. This is gonna be a two-parter.
No, we're getting through. We ain't having a two-parter because we still need to do part 2 of our first two-parter.
Yep.
Okay, so first off, so again, we're starting easy. We're starting with dreams. Dreams are happy. They're whimsical. They're fun. Sometimes they can be a little quizzical and show some anxiety, but they're not dark, right? That's when we're talking about dreams. We're not talking about the nightmares, the night terrors, the dark shit. We're gonna get to that in a minute. But what are dreams? What are dreams? You may know what dreams are scientifically.
They're movies I play in my head.
It's perfect. Science. That's what science says. Cody got it
Yeah.
right there.
There we go.
Nailed it.
They are my
It's
head
in-
movies.
It's in your
Inside
science
Out.
textbook.
Inside Out told me
Simple.
that it's just movies they play.
Yeah.
Simple Jack, dude. Yeah.
Simple Jack.
I tried to come up with
Make my eyes
like an
rain.
acronym.
I see her in my head movies.
In my head.
That movie makes my eyes rain.
Oh my god, that's an amazing movie. Tropic Thunder, best movie.
Love it.
All right, so dreams occur during the REM phase of sleep. So sleep happens in phases, right? And we kind of rotate through this sleep cycle through these 4 different main phases. And there's more intricacies to it, but just for the sake of brevity, we're looking at 4 main phases of sleep. Or you have 2 main stages or 2 main types of sleep, and you have 4 stages throughout. So you have NREM, which is non-rapid eye movement, and then REM, which is rapid eye movement. The first 3 stages occur during NREM sleep. So N1, that's the lightest stage of sleep. This happens about 1 to 7 minutes of duration. And all this comes from Psychology Today, and we'll have links to this stuff in the show notes if you want to get more in depth about the science behind the sleep cycle. So you have a lightest stage of sleep, lasts about 1 to 7 minutes. That's N1. N2, your body starts to relax. Temperature drops. Your muscles relax. This lasts about 10 to 25 minutes. N3 is a deep sleep. This is when our muscles start healing. This is where the body recovery begins. The whole point of a sleep cycle in humans is for body recovery. We have to sleep or we will die. Things have to reset. Cycles have to undergo this kind of, like I said, this reset to them. And that's what sleep does. That is the physical functionality of sleep, allows our bodies to kind of reboot. Right. They're essentially turning it off and back on again for the most part. And then so N3 lasts about 20 to 40 minutes. And then there's stage 4. And this is where we get out of the NREM sleep and get into REM sleep. That means rapid eye movement. And you'll see, if you've ever watched somebody sleep, we all know what REM sleep looks like. You'll see eyes darting around, things like that. You'll see their eyeballs moving underneath their eylids.
Yeah, I've watched many people sleep.
Yeah. Oh, we had to watch you sleep. We had to make sure you were alive.
That's a big thing in like newborns and like infants and stuff like that. Is I guess that's more of like I think they call it like active sleeping.
Yeah, it's REM sleep.
But like, yeah.
So this is where dreaming tends to occur, or where vivid, memorized dreaming, dreams you're going to remember, tend to occur. Dreaming can occur through all stages, but typically dreaming, brain activity, or at least how these studies, these neuropsychiatric studies or neurological studies or sleep studies that they hook these people up to, this is where they're seeing brain activity that they associate with dreaming. That's a whole lot more intricate than we really want to get, but that's pretty much what they're saying there. Dreaming occurs, brain activity increases. This lasts 10 to 60 minutes. And you'll notice if you add up all those minutes, that's not 8 hours, right? That's not our 8 hours of sleep, because this cycles. We go from REM back into that N1 to N2 to N3, and it goes through that.
So it's not because time slows down while you're asleep or speeds up?
It is not. It is not. It's also not because the Sandman comes and sprinkles his sand in your eyes, and that's where your sleep comes from.
If you ask Brittany, she'll probably tell you that I skip from 1 to 4 in about 2 minutes.
You freestyle it, motherfucker. You go between. You swap between. We've heard you skip. You skip like a record. It was wild.
You go from 1 to 4 to dead to 4 to 1 to dead to 2 to 4.
Go straight from 0 to corpse.
Yeah. 0 to corpse in 60 seconds.
Not even.
That explains the smell.
That is what that is. Yeah. So dreaming occurs during rapid eye movement. And so I want to talk about what is a dream? Like what does science consider a dream? So I'm just going to read from this Wikipedia page because it is much more succinct than we would ever be. A dream is a succession of images, dynamic scenes and situations, ideas and emotions and sensations that usually occur involuntary in the mind during certain stages of sleep. Humans spend about 2 hours dreaming per night, feels like much longer, and each dream lasts about 5 to 20 minutes, although the dreamer may perceive the dream as being much longer. The content and function of dream, I'm sure we've all been there, right? Where you have a dream that feels like it's taken forever. I've had dreams that have
Decades.
Yeah. That have like it's where it says each dream lasts around 5 to 20 minutes, where I've known they're separate dreams, but they've kind of like segued into one another.
Oh, absolutely. I've had nightmares where I woke up in the nightmare and I'm still in the nightmare.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I woke up again.
I have had dreams that went all night, and I wake up the next day and it's like, man, I worked all night. I'm tired.
Yeah. Wore out at the end of the day. God, I'd hate to dream about work constantly. That would be. That's the dystopian future we're moving to. It's going to happen, man. They're going to try to harvest our dreams.
When I did web development for a company, started doing their website, I remember like the first week that I worked for them, I had a dream that I was afraid I wasn't going to wake up in time because I couldn't code the right time for me to wake up from my alarm. So
the door at the gaming company, I should say. It's been the same door chime for the past 5 years, and I hear that door chime in my dreams. Literally every door I ever open, that's the sound I hear. Is that?
I used to hear IV pumps in my dreams all the time.
Oh man,
constantly.
That was Aaron's iron lung you were hearing.
His propofol going out. So the content and function of dreams have been topics of scientific, philosophical, and religious interest throughout recorded history. Dream interpretation, practiced by the Babylonians in the 3rd millennium and even earlier by the ancient Sumerians, figures prominently in religious texts and several traditions and has played a lead role in psychotherapy. Dream work is similar, but does not seek to conclude with definite meaning. The scientific study of dreams is called oneirology. Most modern-day dream study focuses on the neurophysiology of dreams and on proposing and testing hypotheses regarding dream function. It's not known wherein the brain dreams originate, and if there is a single origin for dreams, or if multiple regions of the brain are involved, or what the purpose of dreaming is for the body, brain, or mind. We know what the purpose of sleep is. We know why we sleep. Because a lot of your body's cycles take that time to heal and reset. Essentially. But we don't know why we dream. Not concretely. And given some of the content of dreams I know I have, that I'm sure you guys have had, that's weird. It's weird to think that my body just did that for the hell of it. Right?
I'd heard people talk about, they theorize that dream is your mind consolidating memories.
Yeah, there's some stuff in behavioral psychology that's about that.
Yeah.
Like that.
Nothing official. It's just something I'd heard before.
See, I teach the Oedipus complex, and so for argument. And with that, it's like, I know he's a quack. I know a lot of it's been disproven, but it is really interesting to see what Freud thought about dreams and that sort of thing of like, we're using basically his idea, right? Was that our brain, Mario, chill, dude. Our brains are like,
I can't even hear him.
Oh, did you say Freud?
He's a hack.
Yeah, like, he's not that bad, Mario. We've had this conversation.
Freud wants to bang his mother.
Yeah. He's great. It's Mario, chill, dude. But it's like it's a mercy of the brain to kind of like, it's for mental health at this point. It's like we repress. It's kind of like what Aaron's talking about, like compartmentalizing or whatever. It's like repression and figuring out how to deal with things. So it's like the idea of if you dream about somebody dying or whatever. It's like wish fulfillment, or the opposite of, it's like, do I want my parent to die if I dream about my parent dying? No, it's concerned about my parent dying. So it's manifested itself in such a manner. That's compelling to me, regardless. Like I kind of frame my dreams in that sense to go, maybe that's mental health. My brain trying to be like, let's deal with this.
I wish I could remember the full study. There's it was part of the Game Theorists, one of their videos. I can't even remember which one it is now, but they talk about like dreams and things like that. And I remember one of the things being as part of this study, it was veterans who had just gone through horrific events, the PTSD and stuff like that, and they would basically like put them to sleep, and kind of like as they were in this sleeping state, essentially like walk them through a dream that helped them deal with the PTSD, to make them kind of like not forget that it had happened, but lessen the effect of it. Something like that. But I mean, it does go to show you how like influential this brain chemistry truly is. But I really wish I could remember the name of that study.
It was immersive lucid
watch the
dreaming.
videos. I don't know.
So this was developed by the Institute of Noetic Sciences, IONS. This was in 2023 as a preliminary study. They had 49 adults with chronic PTSD, many of whom were combat veterans, not all of them, to test the effects of a 6-day online lucid dreaming workshop. So method, the workshop included mindfulness practices, techniques to improve dream recall, and strategies for inducing lucid dreams, where a person becomes a lucid dream, for anybody that doesn't know, is where you become aware you are dreaming. I think this may be a good point after we go through what the study was, of talking about, have we ever had a lucid dream? What's an experience we've had? A key focus was empowering participants to alter their nightmares and process trauma within a safe dream state environment. Key findings: reduced symptoms, decreased nightmares, lasting effects. A 1-month follow-up found that improvements in symptoms and well-being have been persistent. And then healing dreams. 76 participants had at least one lucid dream during the workshop. 68% of those were quote-unquote healing dreams in which they actively engaged with their trauma. Replication. The impressive results of this pilot study were replicated and confirmed by a 2025 randomized controlled study that included a waitlist control group. Well, that's cool. So that is the, again...
That may not have been the exact one, but same idea.
It was essentially, right? Yeah, so that's interesting, that lucid dreaming. So dreams typically we can't control, right? We can't get into, we can't do anything about. What about...
So I have something...
Yeah.
Something about lucid dreaming. So one of my friends back in high school was really, we used to talk about lucid dreaming and everything all the time, and we always wanted to try to lucid dream, and I never had a lucid dream. He says he did, but never did I, and I don't think he did, because there comes a point. It's like, well, at what point so in his dream, supposedly, he realized he was dreaming, and he was trying to find out who was watching him because he was seeing him. So he kept trying to turn around to see him, but it was always third person behind him, and the camera would change, essentially.
Okay.
But at what point, how do you know it's lucid and you're not just dreaming that you're having a lucid dream?
I
think
you're getting into like lucid. Chicken or the egg territory there.
Yeah.
I mean, it is, but I don't feel like you can control your dreams.
Well,
opinion.
I think if you have a conscious thought, lucid dreaming is absolutely a thing. And I've absolutely had a lucid dream where I've been like, okay, I'm dreaming right now, and I can affect the outcome of this. And then I woke up and I'm like, okay, I attempted to affect the outcome of that. But tends to what tends to happen when I lucid dream is the act of recognizing I'm in a dream will wake me up. That is usually what happens.
That is exactly what happens to me.
Cody, Lee, you guys ever had a lucid dream?
Pull back the curtain and go, wait a minute.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much.
I've never me all I know of.
Cody?
The only thing I can remember is I had a dream once that it was in third person looking, but as something weird happened, it went to first person, so I think like I realized that I was dreaming, but I almost immediately woke up after.
Well, let me ask you this: if I realize it, but I can't control it, is it still lucid dreaming? Because I've had dreams where I go,
so.
"Daggone it, I know what this is," but it's like watching me in third person. I'm just like scooting around on my roller coaster or whatever, taking the tour of the dream, and I'm like, "Please, no!" Is that still lucid?
I think so. I think as long as you consciously acknowledge what you're experiencing is not real.
Okay, yeah, well, I guess so. Because I'm like, mother, lover, not again.
Maybe you have to be able to interact with it. I had a lucid dream that I actually was able to interact with significantly one time when I was younger. I've had a couple since then, nothing super significant, but this one, I was at my friend's house who just lives down the road where I'm at now. And this was when we were young. I bet I was probably 15, 16. And we were hanging out in the backyard doing something, and we walked by the well. He has a well in his yard because, hey, we live in hillbilly hell. People still have well water. Congratulations. But he had a big well, and they ran on well water. Like old-timey, lower the bucket down to scoop well. And I just remember thinking, this is a dream. I'm in a dream. And I remember acknowledging I'm in a dream. I'm like, well, I'm going to go look in that well and see what was in that well. And I went and looked. And when I looked down in the well, there was a little cat. This little, like, lynx
Luna.
cat.
No, she's still there.
And when I looked at it, it looked up at me. It made eye contact. And I'm like, oh, my God, I got to get this cat out of this well. Why am I dreaming about a cat in a well? And then it meowed. And then it started getting big. And it grew so big it was able to step out of the well. And that's when I went, nope, I'm out. I woke up. It wasn't scary or anything, but it was just weird.
Ding dong dell. Pussy's in the well. We in the well in hillbilly hell.
I like
So just a quick Google search. It just says a lucid dream is in which you are aware of the dream while your dream is happening.
Yeah.
So I guess just as long as you're aware. To me, I was always understood as you were able to control the dream.
Yeah, that's
okay. Yeah. I'm with you, Aaron. That was my understanding before. Now I know now. That's cool.
There's a
so yes.
There's a whole episode. Well, not a whole episode, but there's an episode of American Dad that actually deals with lucid dreaming. Steve. It opens up with Steve in the middle of a dream, and he sees a red ball, like a red dodgeball, like one of those rubber bouncy balls. He sees it go by, and that's his tale to be like, oh, I'm in a dream. And he ends up telling that to either his sister or the the pet alien that they keep in the house, Roger.
Yeah.
One of them finds out about it, and they're like, well, let's prank Steve. Let's do this. So they like throw one. He's at school, and they throw this ball, and he thinks he's dreaming, and I'm pretty sure he almost like jumps off a building because he's like, this is a dream, I can do whatever I want.
That's psychosis.
A fun little episode. Is
fun
it
little
really?
Psychosis.
Fun little psychosis.
So what do you guys think?
Are you moving on from lucid dreaming, or
I was about to, but you got something else you want to
I want to mention one.
Go for it.
So I do recall actually a lucid dream that I had, and it's a very important dream to me. I had a friend growing up. My best friend growing up was murdered. I actually thought he committed suicide for years, and then but he was murdered. And I had a dream, and it wasn't that long ago. I was living in this house, and where I recognized, I'd forgotten about this. I recognized that it was a dream, and in my dream, I was talking to him, and I was able to recognize that I was talking to him in my dream. And I was so encouraged. I was like, man, I haven't talked to you in so long. I miss you. How are you? What's it like? That sort of stuff. And just talking to him about old memories. It was really a great dream. So.
Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, it was super sad. Like, it kind of breaks my heart to think about it, but it was also like crazy encouraging because it's like, I haven't talked to this guy in 15 years.
Yeah.
So to be able to talk to him again, and it feels so real, was beautiful.
I mean, a lot of people, and sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Travis, but just a lot of people and a lot of cultures believe there is significant subtext to dreams, that they mean something, that there's some either meaning behind them or something else. We'll get into a little bit of that here in a minute, but You know, that there's significance to this stuff if you want to find the significance, right? So, Travis, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Just to kind of build off of that, I wouldn't call them lucid dreams, but I've definitely had a couple of dreams about my dad in that same vein where it's like just getting to see him again, getting to kind of interact with him, even if it's just in a dream, it always feels a little bit better.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, maybe that's that Freud like mental health thing. It's like just we recognize, our bodies recognize, our brain recognizes that this is troublesome, this is a trauma, and this is a way of working through it. Like that's how it at least makes sense to me. Again, it's still Freud. He's a quack, but it still makes sense to me at least. The logic of it. I miss my friend. My brain's like, you know what? Here's some memories. Here's some really good memories, dude.
Well, that's what I was going to bring. It was the next step. Is what do you guys think, just off the top of your heads, unless you read the show notes, what's the most common emotion expressed during dreaming? Anyone want to take a guess?
Embarrassment.
Okay, kinda. Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah. So now this is according to Calvin S. Hall and Robert Van de Castle, and they did a study in 70s.
You were going to say this is by Calvin and Hobbes. I was about to be like, wait a minute.
Very scientific duo.
Great scientific team of Calvin and Hobbes, second only to Watson and Crick. So Calvin S. Hall and Robert Van de Castle, they out of Western Reserve University, I think it was in the 70s or 80s. I've lost my date here. They did a study of 50,000 dream reports from participants and people that submitted, and they came to find that people dream about everything, right? You dream about helplessness, you dream about happiness, you dream about joy, you dream about sorrow, sadness, and everything in between. But anxiety, worry, dreaming about something you're worried about was the most common finding. And I believe it didn't necessarily mean that it was a negative dream, or the common emotion expressed during dream, it wasn't necessarily a negative dream, but you were having anxiety in the dream. People would wake up anxious. They would wake up feeling that. And
I think that's psychosomatic, like our body healing itself, and everybody we're like, oh, freaking out.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it stands to reason that if we're sitting down and all we know is our experience, right? Now dreams sometimes can generate new experiences from the randomness of our thought, which we will get into when I describe a couple of mine. But it stands to reason that we would dream about what we're worried about, right? You guys ever had a worry dream? Like a stress dream?
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, leading into that, you hear a lot of the common dreams of people, like their teeth falling out, being chased by something, like those things. And that's such a relatable, like, oh God, moment of just like, yeah, no, I know exactly what you're feeling right now because like
I don't necessarily want to get into our nightmares right now, but have any of you guys had like a stress dream, like a worry dream? Aaron, you look like you were going to say something.
So I had a dream, and it's the weirdest dream to this day. And it was during high school. It was during Greg Napier's class, English class. I fell asleep, and all it was a black room with a spotlight, and this like cartoon squirrel comes up, and he's like, "It's an E, Aaron. It's an E." And then I wake up, and it has haunted me all of my life. I have no idea.
It could have been a 3 and it was just backwards.
Dude, I'm submitting
that squirrel told me it was an E.
I don't know.
I'm going to find somebody. There's some witch out there that does like online stuff somewhere. And I'm going to submit all these and be like, hey, interpret these dreams for us. Nope. Turns out.
Aaron, have you seen The Boys?
I remember waking up being like, did somebody say something about an E? What was going on? Nobody said anything. I just had this dream, and I don't know, like it was warning me of something someday that's going to happen.
It's an E.
Aaron, have you seen The Boys?
Attaboys?
No, The Boys, the television show.
The Boys.
Lee, you're lagging just a little bit every now and then.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, I think I can fix that. Go ahead. I'll give me a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting a little bit robot-y every now and then. I mean, do you think it's like trying to tell you something? Like, are you gonna one day you're gonna find yourself on Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah,
it's gonna come back. It's an E, Pat.
I was expecting like a spelling bee or something was going to happen, and then that was what it was going to be. It was going to be an E, and I'm going to miss it.
Lee will be back. I think Lee is already back. Here he comes.
Welcome back. We missed you.
Is this any better?
Yeah, just waiting on your audio and visual to sync up.
Is it any better now? Is it good? Bad?
Yep. Sounds good.
Yeah,
You sound perfect.
All right, awesome. So The Boys, you know when Noir is having his like visions and he sees like the little animals.
Oh yeah,
cutesy.
It's like,
yeah.
You're gonna be with your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. It's an E.
It's an E for the emancipation of your everlasting soul, Aaron.
It was something that's always haunted me, and I was like, I don't know if it's ever going to come to fruition. But
anybody else have one? A distress dream? This is a great time to talk about stress dreams. Travis, you seem like or Lee, Cody.
I can very quickly give you because this happened. What did it say? Tuesday? Last night. So I go to school and I fall asleep in a chair while my daughter's at dance. In the evening, not while I'm teaching, obviously. But I fell asleep in this chair, and then I heard something say, "You're done." I was asleep, full on asleep, and I heard, "You're done." And I was like, I woke up and looked around the room, and there's nothing there. I was like, okay.
I had those all the time. Like when you're just about to fall asleep, or like you're right on that edge, and then I just hear something yell, or like I hear Josh all the time. Just before I'm about, just when I'm about to, and I know it's right before I'm about to slip, I guess, right into that REM sleep, or you're just about to slip into that stage 3 or whatever it is. Yeah. And it's just a Josh, jump, Oh,
jokes on you, Elizabeth's got a speaker hidden somewhere, and she hits a button every now and then.
Dude, it happened. That happened the other night, like 110%, because I woke up to her hollering Josh. And she was her and Erica were in the living room watching a movie. And I was tired. I said, I'm going in and laying down. I think I played around on my phone for a minute and then passed out. And I heard Elizabeth go, Josh. And I woke up and I went, yeah, what? I didn't hear anything. I said, what? And she goes, are you hollering at us? I said, yes. What do you want? She goes, I never said anything to you. And I'm like, oh, you liar. Yeah, she might be. I think she's gaslighting me. I don't know. But clear as day, man. I would have put money on it.
Mm-hmm. No. Talking about stress dreams, though, and to also lead into like recurring dreams, like having the same dream over and over again, even if there's minute detail changes. The same thing happens. Back in 2014, I got in a car accident and it dislocated my ankle. Nothing, major came out of that or whatever. The car was totaled, but whatever.
Nothing major. Got a massive car accident, dislocated my ankle. But now I'm boring you.
That was the only thing that happened. You should have seen the car. But ever since that moment, I have had a recurring dream that I am driving and my brakes don't work, but I stop. Like I don't hit anything. I stop like right before I would hit always. And it's oh my God. Like I have that dream 2 to 3 times a week.
Good Lord.
Wow. And that's been happening for 11 years. Yeah. I hate the fact that I dream.
You need to teach yourself to lucid dream and hit whatever it is just to finish the dream, find finality and closure.
That's always the problem. Like you were saying, like every time I realize it's a dream, I wake up.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Cody?
Every time I've gotten to that point.
Sorry, Trey. I didn't mean to jump
dream wise, most anything that I remember is all nightmares.
Okay, we'll get into your terrifying shit. So you don't have just like a stress dream.
No, not really. I don't have any kind of like recurring stress dream or anything, but I do get frequent nightmares.
Okay.
Has anybody?
I
does
do have
anybody
one
wake up?
that's
Oh, go ahead.
I do have one that's really weird, but it's not really a stress dream.
And you guys can. I mean, we want to get weird. You can tell us the first time it happened. First time
Honestly, I
young
don't
man
remember.
wakes up. It happens so often.
Yeah, not that one.
Wakes up, realizes, yep, we're gonna have to get to the washing machine before anyone else does.
Yeah, not that. No, this one was. I don't remember what year it was. Like, however, this has been forever ago, but I still remember it vividly. It was. I was still living at home, and I think all of us were still living at home. Like I was only like 12 or something, I think. But started having it was like horseshoe crabs, like the underwater horseshoe crabs.
Yeah, I know what a horseshoe
Started
crab.
like crawling up on everything, and they couldn't climb, and they were just crawling around on the floor. But if anybody touched one, they turned into one. I don't know what that was about. We just kind of climbed on the furniture, got out in the car, and left. I had to dream twice. Never again.
Let's see what the symbology of horseshoe crabs are.
And again,
While Josh looks that up, I got a question for everybody when it comes to this stuff, and I've just forgotten what I was going to ask. God dang it!
Okay, all right,
fried.
here.
so he got turned into a horseshoe crab.
Key symbolism.
right.
This is okay. This might be a positive spin for you, Cody, and also anyone out there. We have some listener submissions we're gonna get into for dreams and things later. But anyone out there that wants to continue to submit, go for it. If we get enough, we'll do another episode where we just talk about your stuff. And you know what? We'll interpret them. We'll look it up. We'll do dream interpretations for you. Call me now for your free reading.
That won't cause its own nightmares.
God, I miss Miss Cleo. She was the best. All right, horseshoe crabs. This is according to Google's AI. Just simply typing symbology of horseshoe crabs in Google. Here you go, Cody. Horseshoe crabs symbolize adaptability, resilience, and endurance, attributed to their ability to live both on land and in water, their living fossil status, and their tough exoskeleton. Culturally, they are seen as symbols of protection and auspiciousness, and in Japanese lore, they represent reborn warriors. Their ancient lineage also connects them to themes of wisdom. See, maybe you're having a dream. Yeah.
I remember what I was going to ask.
Yeah, I should have just jumped down and joined them.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was. Is you were seeing your so it was your family members being turned into that, but that was a good dream. You were seeing your family as this adaptable, resourceful group, the littles, strong together.
Yeah.
And Cody
We're like
refuses
monkeys.
to join them.
Yeah, and maybe that was what it was. You were anxious about. Maybe you didn't feel like you were living up to your family. When you're not, and that's okay. You're a giant disappointment.
It's okay to not live up to your family and be the giant disappointment in the corner.
You're not a disappointment. You're part of the biggest podcast in Pike County, I think. Probably.
Prove us wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lee posted some of the episodes of his YouTube as podcast episodes. They might be bigger than this one now.
I don't think so. We'll find out, but I'm pretty sure.
What were you saying, Travis?
So I don't really know what to call these. I'm just going to call it like this. Have y'all ever had like the prophetic dreams where like it's completely normal, like nothing out of the ordinary is happening, and then like 3 days later you just get hit with this huge
Like deja vu?
Huge deja vu. Yeah. Have you ever had those kinds of dreams? Because I've had those all the time.
I have. I could not tell you one off the top of my head right now, but I know I have. I absolutely have.
I've
had a lot of them
deja
about
vu all the time.
I had a lot of them, like when I was in school, especially. Like I'd look down and I'm like, wait, I'm in this outfit. This thing is about to happen, and sure enough, it would. And I'm like, it just further proves that, like I believe we live in the Matrix. So
we're in a that was one of my daughter's
Simulation.
one of my daughter's friends said that one time. Said we and we'll talk about the Matrix when we get to like different dream worlds and fiction. That's one thing I want to kind of touch on before we end is the world of the Matrix. Humans are living in a dream world, right? But one of my daughter's friends came over and she, I guess, genuinely believed that they were living in that we are living in a simulation. And I said, okay, so what the hell are we supposed to do about it? That's the thing. Like, like we're living in a simulation. What do you want me to do about it? That means I'm a sim. Have you ever seen a sim turn the game off? No, they just do that, whatever they're going to do.
Speaking of a simulation, if you ever want one that is way more complicated than the Matrix ever thought about being, there's like an 1.5-hour video about The Ring that you should probably go watch.
Like the movie The Ring, or like I'm writing down some of this stuff so I can remember. And I will put all this in the show notes.
Books, like the Japanese movies, the books, and the American movies all exist within the same world because it's all a simulation.
Travis, was that your mother?
Yes.
She actually scared the crap out of me just now. I thought that was on my camera for some reason. I was like, who is this lady?
When you walked by the camera.
You're a beautiful woman. I thought you were in my house. So I was like, oh God.
He said you're a beautiful woman. He just thought you were in his house.
She is. Turn around. She's there.
I am in your house. She just leans into the camera from the top. Just comes in from the top. I am in your house.
Ring just starts climbing out of the same monitor.
No, she's gonna have to do the Grudge on that one. Just come down like and grab him. Just
if she's gonna be on the show, she's got to tell us about a dream she's had.
You have a dream you can tell us about, Mom? Yeah, just like a dream that you had, or like a recurring dream, or like whatever that you'd like to share. She said you don't want to know.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay, cool.
I've seen some stuff.
So that's what we get. Travis's mom's got some X-rated dreams. We understand. It's all right.
Oh, nice.
I think the willingness of you to accept the simulation is pretty funny, Josh. Just like, I mean, like, because I'm the same way. Like, students will be like, what if this is, that sort of thing. Like, yeah. Okay, what if it is?
What am I supposed to do about it?
Do something about it.
Okay, if we live in a simulation,
what do you want me to do about it?
I still have to pay my power bill. Like, what the hell does it matter? Like, I'm still going to die. Like, I experience pain. It doesn't matter. Pain, joy, pleasure, hate. I still got to take a shit. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a simulation.
The consequences of the simulation are still there.
Yeah. Now, I've had
very real to me.
Yeah, I've had those moments. I've talked to Elizabeth. We've had just a string of bad luck, or like something like, of course, this X thing happened, where it was just the most ludicrous, dumb thing that obviously would have went wrong with what was happening. And I tell them, like, I don't necessarily buy into it, but sometimes, we might be in a simulation and some little dickhead's just flipping switches.
See what this one does.
Like that right there. That's my whole thing with like living in a simulation, because I've had those moments where it's like, I had one, and I will never forget this. I was just like driving along. Like, I think I was just driving to work. And I like look out my window, just for a second or whatever, and I just see this big, bright flash of light. No idea what it was. Didn't come from a car. Like, this was in the morning, and nothing felt right for the rest of that day. And to this day, I'm convinced that either A, somebody flipped a switch, or B, I just experienced an incursion, Marvel style.
Yeah.
But we're getting off topic.
No, we're good. No, this is good. This is kind of creepy dream world like stuff, right? Because if we are in a simulation, let us know, dear listener. Do you think we're in a simulation? Email us at heelshavenerds@gmail.com. Come on our Facebook. Come inside our Discord. Let us know. What do you think? Are we in a simulation? And if we are, what the hell do we do about it?
What's the solution?
The simulation would control our dreams. What were you going to say, Aaron?
I don't see it on the notes, and I just wanted to know about sleepwalking.
Let's talk about that. That's a good spot to go in.
Sleepwalking.
Do you sleepwalk?
I don't always sleepwalk, but I have had occasions where
you need to do like sleep. You need to do like some sleep jogging. That would help you with the apnea. You do like some sleep sweating to the oldies. Like you just pop exercise.
Wow. But I know, like,
it's your body trying to fight death.
Yeah,
dude.
your body's like, oh god, I gotta do some burpees. I gotta get up. Your
slept
body's
like a
searching
child.
for a salad. Like it's just trying
I need
to
oxygen.
Jeez.
Give me oxygen.
Thanks.
Anyway, so you sleepwalk.
It's spooky month, everybody.
So I have occasionally sleptwalk. I know specifically, apparently it happened a lot when I was a kid and I didn't know.
Found
I
him
knew
face
nothing
down in the kale section of the Whole Foods. Gasping like a cart.
My mom actually told me one time that I would apparently get out of bed and turn on the light. I used to, the house that my family lived in, we had upstairs, and me and my brothers slept upstairs in each of our rooms. I would apparently get up, turn on the hallway light and turn on the stairway light, come down to the stairway light, and at the bottom of the steps was their room, and I would just stand in the doorway until Mom would wake up, and she'd be like, do you need something? And I just go, just shake my head, and she'd go, well, go back to bed. And I would go back to bed, but leave all the lights on. So she'd have to get up and go turn off all the lights.
Absolute menace.
You were
I
being
never had sleepwalking.
you're being subliminally implanted by KEP.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like the
Run
power
that
company.
power bill.
You've heard it here first, folks. We're living in a simulation that's controlled by the electric company. They're planting ideas, subliminal messages in your children to turn on your lights at night. That's the truth, the hard-hitting truth you get here on the hills up there.
We'll go get my tinfoil hat out. Hold on.
I've never done like sleepwalking, but I am a sleep talker.
We could all
Like I
do with a
talk
little
about
extra
sleep all the
sleep time.
Yeah.
I've apparently held a full conversation. Like they thought I was awake, had a full coherent conversation with somebody. Woke up the next morning, they continued the conversation. Asked me something. I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. He's like, dude, we talked about it for like an hour and a half last night.
My best friend and coworker, her name is Haley. Her boyfriend was telling me, it was like, yeah, the other night she like just started talking to me because she was trying to get some stuff done for the store, and he was just like, she just turns over and is just like, yeah, I gotta get this done. And he's like, what do you gotta get done? And she was just like, I gotta get it done, and then just like passed out.
I've had times where I've been like, it's like half sleepwalking, because like, example was like one I was at Disney. We were staying in a hotel, and we had flew out there, and I remember there being this big, like they had a big fan in the airport that was like a helicopter propeller kind of thing. And so I had a dream that thing was falling, and apparently I leaped out of bed, rolled over the second bed, and just planted against the wall.
I've had similar dreams to that. I had one, and it was, again, like it's just the weirdest setup, but this one I'll never forget. The dream started, and I was on a baseball diamond. I don't know why I was on a baseball diamond. And this kid was getting bullied by somebody, and my first instinct in this dream was to walk up and kick this dude in the nuts. And I walk up and, fully like rear back and kick him, and kicked the frick out of my wall, and woke up like, ow, I just kicked the wall.
Yeah, my brother's actually, one of my brothers we'd go on family trips, and he would have dreams that he was beating the crap out of a kid in like grade school, and he would be like beating my brother. My brother would wake up and be like, what the hell are you doing, man? Chill. And just, die Billy or whatever. Oh, it's
I've
so
had
good.
a few other occasions where I've had a dream and woke up, like in the middle of them, like doing something, but it's like I'm half asleep. I know I'm not asleep, but I still think I'm in the dream still, kind of thing. But
When I was younger, to like give context for like when this was around 2006, 2007. I know that because Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games had just come out. And
That's how I gauge
playing
my
it.
time frame too.
Yeah.
That and sundials as fucking true a way of telling
but it was around that time frame because I had just got a Wii. And I was playing through Mario and Sonic, and to like do the running on that, you take the Wii remote and the nunchuck and you just sit there and go like this. Well, I was asleep and I had this, and I had another dream. It was about Chippendale, like Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Chippendale. And they were like running away from something. And in my dream, I saw the prompt for the Wii remote and nunchuck, like running motion from Mario and Sonic. And my arms shot up and I was just doing this, like in my sleep, like trying to run away.
Now speaking of that though, so obviously we don't hit like those last few stages when we're having those dreams, or we are erupting out of them, because at those stages, that is when the body is, for all intents and purposes, paralyzed during those final points of sleep. Because if we act out our dreams, we will hurt ourselves, right? Cody, have you ever sleepwalked? You ever sleepwalked? Had any experiences with that?
I've not. My sister did once. A younger sister. She come through the house and she just started walking up and she started opening the door and she was going outside. And this was, I don't remember. She wasn't real old. She was 9, 10, something like that. Mom just came up and stopped her and was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I dropped my pencil." It's like, "You dropped your pencil?" She's like, "Yeah, I dropped it out there. I got to go get it." And Mom's like, "Well, I'll go get it. You go back to bed." And she just goes, "Okay." Turned around and went back to bed.
You're not supposed to wake up a sleepwalker, right? Like, isn't that a thing?
I've always heard that, but
that's what I'd heard.
I don't know if it really matters, but yeah, that's something I've always heard.
I think it has to deal with like waking a sleepwalker can mess with their cognition really, really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been.
You can wake up a sleepwalker. It's safe.
Oh, well, yeah, you can. But... So I'm reading here on the UAMS Health. What is this? What is UAMS?
Was that
University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences? What is that?
Oh,
good Lord.
Knowledge Wikipedia.
And
I was going to that same website, and it's like,
I've never seen lights in my life.
I love that you literally turned and hissed.
Yourself.
You turned and hissed. It's great.
oh,
But yeah,
why have your side just why like that? Ugh.
Krillin strolled up to you and was just like, "Solar flare."
But yeah,
If only there'd been a window open and we could have done Guru. Oh God, natural light.
Oh God,
I had also heard that.
Light.
But so once I'd heard that it's bad to wake up a sleepwalker, but yeah, it was
I think
just
it's old wives too.
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
Yes, if it has something to do with like not knowing where you are, I never know where I am when I wake up. I'm like, what day is it? What year is it? Where am I?
Lee immediately
who I
runs to
am
the
when I wake
window, shoves his head out, and screams at the first passing urchin, "What day is it?
What day is it?
Boy, what day
year is it? Well,
There's
Skyrim
still-
is released.
Christmas.
That doesn't help.
No, tell me in
It's
reference
Christmas.
to Sonic and Mario at the Olympic Games. Which one is coming out? What was the
That's
most
problem,
recent
Travis.
Sonic and Mario?
If
at the
you
Olympic Games?
base it off of Skyrim, what year would it be?
Oh
yeah.
God.
The last 20. All right. So I think that's as far as the safety of regular dreaming. I think that's enough. I think now we move into the darkness, the dark side. Let's pass through the barrier of the dreamland and let's move into the realm of nightmare. All right, so nightmares. So what are nightmares? So we know what dreams are. We've talked about dreams. What's a nightmare versus a dream?
A dream, but spooky.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, it literally is. It's a dream, but it's scary. Like this is horror. You know, nightmares are the stuff horror movies are made of. Freddy Krueger has literally made a killing over the last 50 years. You know, murdering children in the dark and while they sleep.
Nightmares are dreams that give me sweats.
Yeah, dreams.
A lot of all nightmares.
They're just dreams that wear masks. Halloween masks.
There we go.
They're spooky.
There's a lot of stuff that are nightmares, and there's a bunch of different types of nightmares. There's nightmares, there's night terrors, there's sleep paralysis, which we'll get into here in a minute. Which sleep paralysis is rough. If for anybody that's ever experienced that is a whole other level of fear. But let's talk about nightmares. You know, nightmares, night terrors. Anybody have
those are kind of two different things from one another,
Yeah.
right? Because a night, the way that it's always been kind of contextualized to me is like a nightmare is just that moment
Scary
of
dream.
like, oh God, like the zombie was about to get me and I woke up and I'm like, oh, it was just a dream or whatever. But like night terrors kind of lead into like sleep paralysis for a lot of people, where like the physical embodiment of your surroundings become the nightmare. Like the walls start growing eyes, or like there's, you know, the dude at like the end of your bed and stuff like that. I mean, like, ugh. No, I don't think I've ever experienced a full blown night terror, and I don't know that I want to, because.
So, what were you going to say, Lee? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm with you on that one, Travis. I don't think I've experienced a night terror. Like, I've woken up from nightmares.
Yeah.
But I was going to jump back into the whole, Freud's a quack thing. But here's my understanding. It's like, if dreams are wish fulfillment, how do you explain nightmares? Because like, who wants that? Who wants to have that spooky nightmare? But his idea was like the idea of a dream sensor is not prepared to meet the horrors of whatever. Kind of like, I think he compares it to Solon's penal, Solon, whatever, the penal code. It's like for parricide, for killing one's parent. It's like it doesn't. There's not a law for it until it's necessary, and so your brain sensor is not prepared to meet whatever has never occurred, and so your brain's not prepared to meet the horrors of whatever thing it's come up with.
Fear. That's why it generates fear. I think you also see, and I know this is true for me, in the scariest nightmare I've ever had. You'll see that, and has this ever happened to you guys, is you've had a nightmare, you've woken up, you know it's a nightmare, but it was just silly. Like it was a weird dream. Like it wasn't something that is traditionally scary, or it was just strange. Right? But you've woken up in that fit of fear, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the first ever nightmares that I remember having was as a kid. I had just watched, I think it's called Toy Soldiers is the movie.
Small Soldiers. I know what you're talking about.
Small soldiers.
That's the one with the Gorax or the Gorags, and then the Gorgonites, Small Soldiers. Yeah.
I don't even remember if it's been so long since I've seen that movie. I don't even remember if this was a scene in the movie. I just remember I had a nightmare where like I watched a mold, like a toy mold of myself being made. Like they had like pulled it up like out of the vat, and it was me like as the mold. That's the first nightmare I ever remember having. Okay. And that was it. Like that was all it was. Yeah. But I was just like, whoa.
And it's not something that's like, not that's necessarily threatening just to see, right? But in the moment, in the nightmare, the environment and the setting and like how you're feeling, the emotions that your body is going through make it scary. So So my scariest nightmare that I've ever had, the time that I've woken up from having a nightmare, not night terrors, because I have night terrors a lot. And just to kind of put a bow on the night terrors versus nightmares thing. So I kind of looked up. So nightmares tend to happen during that REM stage of sleep. Whereas night terrors, and we've talked about, the body reacting, you flailing, these happen during those earlier stages before that kind of full body paralysis comes through, when you still have, a little bit of muscular retention or muscular ability retention, where you can flail, you can feel things are a lot more visceral, I think, during that time, and why you do have that night terror differentiation there. But for me, and this is going to be so dumb, and I think I've told you guys about this before. I think I've mentioned it on the podcast before. The scariest dream I've ever had, where I could feel myself panicking. I was in a forest, and it was raining, and there was thunder and lightning, and it was this thick, dense forest, and I was right next to this massive, massive tree. And I was trying to run around it, but the roots of the tree were kind of interlocked, and they just formed this massive lattice I had to kind of crawl through, and everything was mud. And so every time I'd step, I'd go up to my knees in mud, and I could feel it pulling me, and I'd having to pull myself through the roots. And I was going in a circle around this tree. And then the thunder would crash, or the lightning would flash, and every time it did, there would be a bear. And the bear would be right in my face, and it'd be like this, just roaring, and there would be the sound of the thunder and the bear roar. But I knew in the dream the bears were cardboard cutouts of bears, and they were spring-loaded. And so they would shoot up like that. They weren't real bears, and I knew that, but I would just cut through and going through these things, and lightning would flash, and then roar would just be every time.
So you were at a haunted corn maze, essentially.
Dude, I don't know what I was in, but it was terrifying. This big gnarled tree, and it was massive. It was like a redwood, like the size of a redwood. I was going around and around, and just every night these and there were different ones, like think Men in Black when he's shooting the cutouts.
Pop-ups at the training,
the cutouts.
Yeah, that's what. And they were just bears, and they had outlines, you could tell they come up, and then there were some that were like this and some like that, and it was just wild. And I bet it happened. I bet 16 bear, and I couldn't get out of the dream, and it was just constant, and I'd be I could feel the roots on my back, and I was wet and just sloshing in mud, and then lightning would strike, and in the flash of lightning, spring trap bear. But yeah, it was the scariest dream I've ever had in my life.
Nice.
I think the scariest dream I've ever had was when I was really young. We had just watched Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had a dream that we were in this prison area, and it was a bunch of people I knew, except the tops of their heads were cut off, and you could see their brain. And we were all chained up and marching in a line. And at the end was the judge from Roger Rabbit with a chainsaw, and he was cutting the tops of people's heads off and turning them into these zombies. And it freaked me out, and I woke up. And we used to live in this old trailer, and it was my room. You went out to a hallway, and down the end of the hallway was my parents' room. And I ran out and went down to go to their room. And when I got there, the judge was in the room. So I woke up again. And
Judge Damon's spooky, dude.
Was freaking out. So I went out to the hallway and went to my parents' room and got in the bed with them. And I was I had a nightmare. I can't stay in my bed. And I looked, and their heads were cut off and their brains were exposed. And then I woke up a third time, and I was in my bed, and I was like, screw that. I'm staying here. And I just sat in my bed for the rest of the night. Yeah.
Have y'all ever had I just kind of thought about this, and this was another thing. Have y'all ever had a nightmare, but nothing happens in the nightmare. Like it's just a singular image that just like haunts you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had a static one time that was just like static and teeth. Like TV static.
I used to have nightmares because I don't remember which Terminator movie it is, but it's the movie where like the Terminator gets like squashed by like a big bench press kind of thing. But the Terminator's like face, because you could see his face like before it got squished, terrified me as a kid. And I used to just have nightmares about that face. Nothing else happened. It was just his face and that one red eye just like glowing or whatever.
I had that static with teeth. I had that one time. I just remember because it was just weird. It was like just teeth, like a smile with teeth, and then like TV static, And it wasn't like the most scariest dream. It was just like really friggin' weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
Cody, Lee,
y'all have the falling dreams?
Oh yeah,
the falling. Oh yeah, all the time.
All the teeth dreams.
The teeth dreams,
like the fall, like your teeth falling out. Yeah, I've had those.
Well,
have you all?
I don't think I ever. I got.
Have you all ever had? This is a weird one. I feel like this is like a me only thing. I call them the ship at sea or the pendulum dreams, where like I'm not really dreaming, but I'm in this constant like I feel like I can feel the world around me. Like the anchor point is my bed, and I can just feel myself like that's adrift at sea or like on a pendulum.
That's called being blackout drunk, kids. And let me tell you, I have those all the time. Lay in the bed, world starts spinning. Been there a few times, guys. That is, happens to the best of us.
That's probably the one I have the most. Is the one where I can't keep balance, and I'm constantly falling over. Like I can't stand up. I had one where ET was chasing me like that.
Or you're fighting to move because your body in real life where you're asleep isn't able to move, and so in the dream we're experiencing that. Or like you ever like try to throw a punch and it's just
Oh yeah. All the time that I'm trying to run, and I was like, I'm going as hard and as fast as I can, and I'm moving like nowhere.
I remember every time I've tried to throw a punch in a dream, it is like picking up like those sandbags, and I'm just like,
I remember one I had when I was a kid, and I was in my room, and so I grew up in a very small house, and we had no doors on any of the rooms other than we had a front door and a bathroom door and a back door, and that was it. And I remember, and my mom would sit in this chair that was in the living room, and my room was just off the living room, and she would sit in it, but her back would be to me, kind of where she was. And I just remember waking up in my bed in a dream and feeling like something is over top of me, like something is there over top of me, and I need to get to my mom. And I went to get out of the bed and go to the door, and as soon as I got to the door, it grabbed me and started pulling me back, and I was clawing, to try to get, and I could just see the back of my mom's head, and I was trying to yell for my mom, and I couldn't, and it was just pulling me back in the room. I remember that.
Yeah.
That was awful.
Nightmare-wise, like all of mine are just like run of the mill. Like I've had like running from something. Honestly, being stuck out in the woods with dinosaurs. I had that dream a few times.
That was
I don't know why.
Like you're running from dinosaurs, like Jurassic Park style.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had that one a few times. But most of my nightmares are pretty well just that. I don't have anything that's horrible. Now that one sleep paralysis thing, that was pretty rough. But
okay, we'll get to that. I want everybody to share some nightmares, and then we'll get into the sleep paralysis.
Can I share one real quick?
Yeah.
No.
So I have this recurring nightmare that I'm in a house, and like I could probably sit here and draw the house for you. I know what the house looks like completely. And I guess it might be lucid dreaming, because when I see the house, I go, great.
Yeah.
I'm here again. So, but it's always like a weird, like sort of haunted or possessed, like demonic sort of house, and it's something I associate with somebody that was very like had some issues, like some really dark stuff in their lives, in his life, and I keep like revisiting that house in my dreams. It's a really weird thing. It happens probably once every maybe 3 months, but it's been consistent for years now.
Wow.
It's like I find myself back in that house, and again, I could probably map it. It kind of reminds me of, not to be a video game nerd about it, but Seventh Guest. Like there's the idea of the house, whatever, that's built, and it's, you know, well, it's not really possessed, but it's like it's a really dark house built on like dark premises and that sort of idea. But I have nightmares about that, and it's different points in the house often, or the only place that really repeats is like the living room and the entry. But again, I could totally construct this house, but I've never seen it. I guess it's just my brain making up different points of like things I have seen and going, let's build a house, and this is what this evil house would look like. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you have any nightmares you want to share?
Let's see. I had the judge where I kept waking up, and I had the one where I couldn't stand up, and this evil ET was chasing me. And
I've been watching a
only
lot
I can think
of
of.
Resident Alien, and all I can think of when somebody mentions ET is sexy, sexy ET with his sexy potato body. That's all Alan Tudyk says.
What?
You gotta watch Resident Alien. Watch Resident Alien if you haven't, or read the comic Dark Horse comics. But watch it too. Alan Tudyk is nerd royalty. So the judge. I want to hear about one of them. Like let's break this down. What does it
already
mean?
told the judge one.
Did you tell the judge?
I already told the one about the judge. Yeah, it's the one I kept waking up.
Oh, yeah, where you stayed in your bed. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Tell the ET one, being chased by sexy, sexy ET.
It's CT. There's not too much about it that I can remember. I mean, it's another one when I was really young. But I remember it was just like a parking lot. And I kept trying to run away. And it was just this like demonic looking ET, like basically crawling after me.
Like
and I kept trying to run
from Steven Spielberg ET.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the alien. And it just had these big claws crawling after me, but I kept trying to run away.
That's not ET you're dreaming about.
Yeah.
No, you're dreaming about Pumpkinhead, dude.
Pumpkinhead?
Anybody know Pumpkinhead?
Yeah,
it
actually.
was an old horror movie.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's one of my favorite horror movies of all time. Like my favorite slasher, other than Jason, was Pumpkinhead. Google it, Aaron.
Scream's my favorite.
Yeah, you've seen Pumpkinhead.
Oh, geez. Yeah, similar, just more ET-ish.
I'm telling you, he
with
looks like
those
ET,
hands.
like evil ET though. Pumpkinhead does.
Yeah,
Yeah, you were dreaming
ET's
about
head
Pumpkinhead.
with those hands.
You've seen that
But
because
he
that
was
came out when we
crawling
were
after
little.
me.
That came out when we were
I guess
young.
it's a possibility.
We figured it out.
I don't
This is
remember
why
ever
you are
seeing
the way you are, because of Pumpkinhead.
It's a Pumpkinhead. That's a. I feel like you
Yes.
can't just. It's not just watered down to that.
My nightmares are probably from I snuck in and watched it. What time I was watching? I snuck in and like hid under a table and watched it.
I remember in my buddy's house looking at, he had like a, you guys know Wayne, drummer Wayne from high school.
Yeah.
I was at his house when I was little, and his parents were watching it in the living room on like a big screen TV, but he had like a lofted area that we would play up in. And I remember like creeping over the edge of the loft and looking and watching it.
Yeah.
And I have regretted that for years. So, but at the time I was like, yeah, this is cool. And then, it absolutely
It's
terrified
not
me.
cool. It's not cool.
It's not cool.
It's so funny you mentioned that, because that actually just reminded me of a small nightmare that I would have. I think it was Invisible Man was the movie where like he like injects himself with a drug, he goes fully invisible, and they try to like reconstitute him.
Hollow Man.
It was
Hollow
What is it?
Man.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
Hollow Man.
With Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah. That scene of him turning invisible where like you see the skin disappear and it's just like his arteries and like nerves and stuff like that. Oh, that ruined me for years. Oh my God.
I
remember being so terrified of that image
yeah.
of like a skinless, muscleless body just like writhing on a table.
What was it? I remember there used to be an old comic, and I can't remember who did it. The one where the guy turns the corner and there's the guy who has no skin. He's just like muscle. He's like, that's the most terrifying thing I've seen. All of a sudden, the guy with no skin just goes, and bursts into bats. And it's just the other guy
going, I've never had, I think the only thing like from a movie that ever stuck with me, because I don't know of any movies with spring trap bears that jump around, was Alien. I watched the first Alien when I was a kid, and this was still when we were in the first house I grew up in. I would have, and this was the only time I ever had a recurring dream, because I'd have this dream like I probably had it like 4 or 5 times. And so, like I told you guys, we didn't have any doors in our house. And in this dream, I would walk through, and we had this big furnace, this kind of in-ground, like in the floor, light the pilot light with a piece of paper towel on the end of a coat hanger light. And everybody know what I'm talking about? We all grew up in Appalachia. We know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Those big in-floor furnaces. And I would have to step over that into my parents' room to go to the bathroom. Well, in the dream, I went over and was going to the bathroom, but there was a door there next to our bathroom door. And that door was, it had like a number dial at the top. And it was teal. I remember it was very, very like teal blue, that kind of like greenish blue with a golden handle. And I remember walking up to it, and I would turn it. And I'd turn it, and the numbers would start rolling on the counter. And then they'd show something. And I'd be like, okay. And then I'd turn it again, and they'd roll again. And then they'd show a number. And they hit a number, and I cannot, to this day, remember what the number was. Because every time I'd have the dream, it'd be different. Excuse me. And they'd hit it 2 or 3 times, and nothing would happen. And then inevitably, I would keep trying that door, and they'd keep rolling, and then finally they would hit a number, and the door would fly open, and this xenomorph from Aliens would leap out and pin me to the ground and scream in my face and yell and roar. But it was always like yellow and mushy, like it was made out of sweet potatoes.
They were rotten.
Apparently, I don't know what it was, but it was always this yellow, mushy xenomorph,
like a very ripe banana.
Yeah, it was crazy, and I bet I had that dream 10 times. But that's the only time like anything I can nail down from a movie. Now I had a dream. I know we were off of dreams, but this one's funny, and I forgot to mention it before, and you guys are going to get a kick out of this. Lee, you will especially, and I think I mentioned it before. I was with friends out in the yard. So when I was a kid, we used to play Power Rangers out in the yard, right? Go check out our episode on Power Rangers to hear about this play.
What Ranger were you? Yes, I will judge you.
That's in the episode. Go watch the episode. You'll find out what Ranger you were. And you were in that episode, and you remember. But we were out in the yard playing, but we were adults, and we weren't playing Power Rangers. We were playing EverQuest. We were pretending like we were in EverQuest. I don't remember who was what, but I just remember somebody was playing Fiona V. And so, like, there's a lot of others, but we were all pretending like we were in EverQuest. And then there's a train out in front of my grandparents' house, a train track, and it went by and wrecked and fell into the yard. But these were coal trains, but in this, it's a passenger train. And from the passenger train, out hops Danny DeVito. But he's in his underwear. That's all. He's just in his underwear, and he's got a beer, and he's got a pounder, and he's wearing Robin Williams's like leaf turtle shell hat from Jumanji when he comes out of the board game. So he's wearing that in his tidy whities, and I'm like, "Holy shit, you're Danny DeVito! I got to show you our Hot Topic." So I'm going to take him to the Pikeville Hot Topic. note to any of our listeners who haven't been here, there is not a Hot Topic in Pikeville. Dude, that was what I wanted to do. So the dream like cuts right from there. Danny DeVito, like crawling out of this derailed train, and me being like, Danny, I got to take you to Hot Topic, and it's us walking down the street. We're both drinking pounders. We're throwing them back, having a great time. I'm like, this is where Hot Topic is, and we turn and we go into this door. I have no idea where we're at in Pikeville. No clue. And we have to go down these stairs into a basement, and there's like this seedy old, like almost think like ticket booth at the movies type thing, but with like cast iron bars, and there's a guy in the back sitting with like the fez and the maroon, you know what I'm talking about, like the maroon outfit. Like the ticket guy, and he's like, do you want to get into Hot Topic? And I'm like, this is Danny DeVito. He's like, do you have a ticket? I'm like, no, I don't have a ticket, but this is Danny DeVito, man. We're going to get Danny DeVito into Hot Topic. And I turn around and Danny DeVito's gone. And I never got to show him Hot Topic. Then I woke up. I never got to show Danny DeVito Pikeville's Hot Topic. Hell, I never got into Pikeville's Hot Topic.
Oh no!
But that was it. That was the whole dream. And I'm sorry, I'm done. I just forgot to mention that one, and that one's wild.
With the movement of like, I don't know if y'all have ever heard this. This was a big thing on TikTok. This is completely off subject. With the big move of a lot of people being y'all-ternative, like they're very clearly, like us, but very, all black clothing, the black lipstick and stuff like that.
Oh, I mean, I was a goth back in the day.
But like with this big movement of like y'all-ternative, a Hot Topic would bang here in Pike County.
I don't know.
I feel like the gaming co's serving that right now. So
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
It just
it's
ain't
not
got
a bad idea to capitalize on that. Be like, hey, Nathan, why don't you get some like chains and weird stuff in there?
Either trip pants. Get some trip pants and like quadruple billion
pants,
your Invader Zim merch. Just do that. And then whatever the hell those rabbits were, like the meme rabbits, do that.
The happy tree friends.
No, not that one. There's another one. But Happy Tree Friends too.
The Skelemals.
I don't know.
Rabbits.
They were like little.
Anyway.
It was a very like it was an anthropomorphic rabbit, but he was drawn very simply. He was white and he'd have like a dot for eyes, and he always would have like a sad thing happen to him. Like the beginning of the little comic strip would be him buying flowers or something, and then he'd come home and the girl he's taking the flowers to would be making out with her boyfriend or something. I know that was a thing at Hot Topic.
Sounds like the Road to Hell by Matt Groening, but probably not that.
Maybe. I don't know. All right. So, anybody got any other nightmares they want to share before we move into Nightmare's big, awful, evil, terrible brother, sleep paralysis?
I think
we're good.
I want to start off by just saying, like, leading into it, I've never experienced like full sleep paralysis like a lot of people, but I have experienced an adjacent to it, and my God, is it terrifying!
It's awful.
It was the first and only time that I've ever had COVID, and there was one night, and I'll never forget it. I kept breaking out in fevers. Like I'd hit like 101 and then it would break. And then a couple hours later, I'd hit another fever and it would break. But I just remember like, I crawled in bed because, I was freezing. I was roasting alive, but my body was chilly. And I woke up like 2 hours later, couldn't move. Fully paralyzed in bed. Like I could move my head, but no other part of my body would react to me. And I remember laying there for like a good 30 minutes before I like could feel my legs enough to like swing my body out of bed and stand up. It was, oh man.
Dude, the COVID nightmares, I've had those. The fever nightmares.
Fever dream, man.
That is, I actually weirdly enjoy those. And it's kind of sadistic. Or maybe masochistic. I guess it'd be masochistic, right? But when I have COVID,
you like pain being inflicted on you. Sadist is you like seeing pain inflicted on others.
there you go. So masochistic. Like, when I'm having those kind of dreams, I really like, if I get COVID and I know I'm going to have a fever, I'm going to get real sick or whatever, I watch freaky stuff to freak me out. So I have weird dreams. I know that sounds crazy, but like, what was that first Marvel movie people didn't like? Like generally, it was like a bunch of people, like a team of people. Yeah, that dude. Like I watched that whenever I had COVID, and the dreams, it was like swinging in and out of being awake. I have no idea what was going on in that film, but I liked it. So this last go around, it was I was like, what's going to mess with me? So I started watching Dexter again, and that really messed with me quite a bit. So I was just, whatever I could do to, like, it's kind of like, I don't know, my COVID peyote or something. Like, I want to go on this fever dream trip. So,
Lee has COVID and he's watched the Zapruder film 36 times.
Yeah, like I'm gonna watch something. Oh, what was that show with the big doll that watches people?
Squid Game.
Squid Games. Yes. Okay, so I also tried to watch Squid Games, but I watched the first season in and out of consciousness while I had fever, when I was having COVID fever. So it was a real trip. And I loved it, man. I swear, it's like, I got to stay away from peyote.
I had a fever.
If I ever say it's peyote time, somebody stop me.
I got to get you high one night, Lee.
I had a COVID dream that we had cats. We just had so many cats. And I just remember telling Elizabeth, I was like, we got to do something. There's just too many. And I mean, I bet we had 100. And speaking of cats, this is my dog. Can you see Malcolm? No,
I love the mental image of you walking up to her and being like, we just have so many cats.
Well, that's what I was telling. And I think this was another time I talked to my sleep. I speak in my sleep a whole lot. Because I have night terrors. I didn't really talk about it, but I have like serious night terrors. I wake up screaming, thrashing, things like, I've woken Elizabeth up. I've woken my daughter up screaming. That happens to me at least once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I'll have one. So I have very vivid dreams. And so there were so many freaking cats everywhere. And it wasn't a nightmare. There was just cats. I was like, Elizabeth, we got to do something. We have too many of these cats. And it was because I was running a fever, and in my fever dream there were cats everywhere.
Like from the Broadway show Cats?
Oh my God. Worse.
Just them everywhere. Memories.
The Broadway. The movie.
Oh God.
It's the Magical Mr. Mistopheles. No.
Oh God. Just James Corden like gargoyle perched on the end of your bed.
To just mention it right fast before we move too far on, you were talking about like having vivid dreams or whatever. The most vivid dream I ever remember, it was a very short dream, but like I got shot. Like somebody shot me in the arm in the dream, and I will never forget that spot on my arm was sore all day long. It wasn't sore when I went to bed. I didn't lay on anything in the bed, but I got shot in the arm, and that spot on my arm hurt all day long.
Now, did your arm hurt because you got shot in the dream, or did you get shot in the dream because at some point your arm hurt, and that was you interpreting it, right? Yeah.
But I'll never forget that.
All right. So let's move on. It's going to be a little bit of a longer episode. Everybody cool with going a little bit longer? Because this seems like it's a fun conversation. That's good. That's a great response. Yawning. We good to go? Yeah.
I'm grabbing coffee.
We'll continue.
Go for it.
Yeah.
So let's move into sleep paralysis. So what is sleep paralysis?
Not fun.
Yeah.
Paralysis as you sleep.
So it's when you're almost awake. This is almost like a lucid dream, but where you are experiencing this lucid dream from the perspective of being awake and being unable to move. So you are lucid dreaming. You're in that state where your body is, psychosomatically paralyzed, because we're in those later stages of sleep, and you are dreaming for all intents and purposes, but it is as though you are in the bed and this is really happening. It's an estimated 30% of people around the world have had at least one sleep paralysis episode in their lifetime. 30% seems pretty significant. There are commonalities across sleep paralysis episodes. The shadow men, that feeling of dread, that feeling of something behind you. These sleep paralysis demons. Early on in time, this was referred to as these. This is where the lore of incubus and succubus comes from early reports of sleep paralysis. Incubi and succubi, these demons that would prey on sleeping men and women, respectively. No, swap them around. Succubi would prey on men, incubi would prey on women. And then there's probably some other stuff there, but men would awake saying they had these carnal dreams, and that was a succubi preying on them, these demons that were coming in to release their nocturnal emissions. Right? Yeah, you can see Aaron's eyebrows there, so that none of us will ever have a nocturnal emission again now that we've seen that.
Yeah.
So everybody's eyebrows going. That's good. But yeah, so the first clinical description of sleep paralysis was published in 1664 in a Dutch physician's case histories, and I searched for an hour and could not figure out what this dude's name was. Could not. It just says a Dutch physician in their case. That was his name,
Dutch physician.
And this is where they referred to it. Yeah. They referred to it as the nightmare. That's where nightmare comes from. Mare means demon, or because we have mare. We play Phasmophobia, guys. We've found mares, right? Yeah, and this is the night. Yeah, they kill us quite often. This is the nightmare. Comes in the night. That's where nightmare comes from, or the incubus, which was the sleep paralysis demon. And there is a quote from this study, and it's, "In the nighttime, when she was composing herself to sleep, sometimes she believed the devil lay upon her and held her down. Sometimes that she was choked by a great dog or thief lying upon her breast so that she could hardly speak or breathe. And then when she endeavored to throw off the burden, she was not able to stir her members. And while she was in that strife, sometimes with great difficulty, she awoke of herself, and sometimes her husband, hearing her make doleful, inarticulate voice." So essentially, she would feel like something on her chest. She would be feeling choked. Then she would be crying out in her sleep. This person they were studying here, or was participating in the study. And then sometimes she could rouse herself out of it, but most of the time her husband would hear her making these noises and wake her up. And that's another commonality in examples of sleep paralysis, is that kind of feeling of something on their chest, something weighing us down. And again, seeing these shadow people just at the foot of the bed, or feeling choked, or like, not necessarily that you're paralyzed and can't move, that something's holding you there. You guys ever experienced anything like that? Ever experienced sleep paralysis?
I have. Once.
Yeah, Cody, I know you've been excited to share this, and so I'm ready to hear it. It's got to be better.
This whole time he's been paralyzed through this nightmare, waiting to speak about it.
Yeah, okay. I've got one too. Do you want me to go first, and then you end with yours, or you want to go first?
Doesn't matter. You can go if you want.
Okay, I think yours is going to be better than mine, so I'll go real quick. So I've had it one time my entire life. I've had sleep paralysis, and when I was living in Richmond, I was with living with a girl at the time, and I heard we had a cat in the house, and I was falling asleep, and I heard a bunch of stuff knock over, and that was the cat in the bathtub knocking shampoo bottles and shit over. That's what that was.
Nature of a cat.
Yeah. Anybody that's ever had a cat in their house knows they're going to go knock shit over in the middle of the night. That's what they do. They're little bastards like that. And they do it because they hate us, because they used to be apex predators, but now they weigh 8 pounds and we keep picking them up and giving them kisses. But so that happened. So I heard a big, like, boom, 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 And then I fell asleep. And then I remember going in my mind, I was like, okay, that was just the cat. I'm all right. Well, then I had a dream. So I had a dream, and in my dream, there were two guys outside of our apartment, and they were talking about breaking in. And they were like, okay, well, you go in first. We're going after that. And they broke into our apartment, and in my dream, these guys went up, and like they were the ones that made that noise. They knocked all that shit over. And then I could see in my dream them looking in our room, and like the light of our TV in our bedroom shining through the door. Well, I woke up. And when I woke up, I realized I was facing, because our bed would face the door into the room. I was facing the room, and I could see that kind of blue light there. And when I woke up and looked, because I knew I was in a dream, I knew I woke up from the dream. And when I woke up and looked, there was this silhouetted figure standing in my doorway to my bedroom with a gun pointing it at me. And I kept trying to nudge my girlfriend at the time and get her up to take, and all I could do was just stare. I couldn't move. And it was this kind of shadow humanoid figure with a gun pointing it. And I kept trying to nudge her. I was like, oh my God. I was like, wake up, wake up. And I couldn't get anything out. I couldn't have anything happen. And finally I was able to throw myself over. And when I threw myself over, I woke up. I actually woke up from it.
That's actually pretty terrifying, dude. Holy smokes.
It sucked. It sucked.
Yeah.
That does not sound like I want to do that.
Not anywhere close to as bad as the spring-loaded bears. Nowhere close. Not even in the ballpark. But yeah, so Cody, what was yours?
Okay, mine is right now we're taking turns staying the night with my grandmother. She's 90, everybody staying with her just to be sure. And the way her house is set up, like her room is on one side, and there's a room directly across from her, and I'm sleeping in the room directly across from her. And it's a smaller room. It's got like a bed and then a dresser in it, and the bed's basically up against the wall. It's with the bed and dresser, it's basically just enough room to stand up and walk out. Pretty small room. So I'm laying there asleep, and I can start hearing footsteps. And it's one of those Granny gets up in the middle of the night. It's like, okay, she's going to the bathroom. And then I sat there and thought about it for a minute. And it's like, what the footsteps are coming from the right side of the bed, which is up against the wall. So I open my eyes and start looking around and realize I can't move at this point. And I can just hear the footsteps just keep walking beside the bed until I see this is basically a cloaked shadow figure walk around the foot of the bed. And I mean, it's somehow its face was darker than the rest of it, couldn't see it. And it just kind of walks, and tall enough that its head is scraping the ceiling. And it just stands at the foot of the bed for a minute. And as it's doing that, I can hear like this little girl singing. I can't make out what she's saying at all, but I can hear a little girl singing. And as it stands there, it starts leaning forward, and it reaches out, and it's got like boned fingers. Like they're not bones, but they're almost like skin wrapped tight enough to be around the bone. And it comes out to a point, and it reaches out over top of my chest. And as it gets down close enough to about to touch me, I finally get to the point that I actually take a swing and land out of the bed. And I'm standing there looking around. I'm like, oh God.
Yeah. You lurch yourself out of this.
No,
awful.
sir.
That's
No,
bad.
Sir. Nuh-uh.
It was awful.
I turned the lights on. I was like, nah, I'm good.
It's so bad. We have a listener submitted example of sleep paralysis. We want to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, so this is actually from my wife. This is Elizabeth. So anybody who listens to the show will recognize Elizabeth from our Lord of the Rings episode and from our episode on Cozy Games. This is the love of my life, my beautiful wife. Today is our anniversary, October 7th, when we're recording. This is our 3-year anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
That's why we're recording late. It is late here. You guys should be listening to this on the 14th, hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully.
Travis.
All right. So Elizabeth says, my sleep paralysis dreams are usually the same. I wake up and can only move my eyes to look around the room, and I can see someone standing at the foot of the bed. Sometimes it's just a shadow of a really tall man. Sometimes I can make out features like he has a 5 o'clock shadow, a buzz cut, a shaved head. Buzz cut or a shaved head, and he's always looking right at me.
Josh, are you your wife's sleep paralysis demon?
Dude, I just shaved my head. I've not shaved my head in 10 years. And I used to always keep it shaved. And I gave up bodily autonomy when I got married. And we've been together going on 8 years. And we've been married for 3. We've been together for 8. But I've never shaved my head since we've been together. And I begged her for our anniversary, can I shave my head? And she relented and then told me this. That's what her sleep paralysis demon looks like. But there's more. There's more. There's only 2 times, this is Elizabeth, there's only 2 times the sleep paralysis dreams were different. Once, I was laying on my side on the bed, facing the empty side, and I woke up and could see a blanket bunched up, and I realized in the dream this was the dead body of a child wrapped up, and I could only see the foot sticking out, and it seemed so real because I could feel the cold radiating off of the foot onto my arm. And the other, so this, she continues, the other time when I was laying in bed facing the wall and I could see something hunched in the corner facing away from me. It was big and pale and had very stringy hair. It kind of reminded me of an illustration from Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. I'd see I can't win for losing, whether I grow my hair out or I don't grow my hair out. Shit. Right? But no, that's the terrifying shit my wife sees. We actually, another listener submission is about sleep paralysis as well. And he has some other dream stuff. Do we want to talk about this, or we want to go into that?
We can go into this.
All right, this is from Groggy Golem. Shout out to Groggy Golem. Baron.
Yep.
For a while, there's a Groggy Golem in the Discord, by the way, if you want to talk to him. For a while, I had sleep paralysis because I would stay up too late and sleep half the day away. Never hallucinated like they say you're supposed to. I would just wake up unable to move for about an hour and just stare at the ceiling or fall back asleep. That's kind of what you talked about, Travis, right? When you had your COVID dream where it was just, you just could not move.
It wasn't even a dream. It was like I was just experiencing everything IRL. Like I had fully woken up and was just frozen in bed. Like just physically couldn't move.
All right, and then Groggy Golem continues, only barely had lucid dreamings in terms of manipulating the dream. Usually I would just become lucid enough to recognize it was not real and go, okay, I don't care what happens then. Sorry, I'm still recovering from COVID. Okay, I don't care what happens then. Haven't really had a nightmare since I was able to consistently recognize a dream from reality while dreaming. These days, it's rare I remember a dream. When I do, they're so mundane I spend a good half a day trying to figure out if the conversation or moment actually happened because it felt normal. And here's a weird one I had a few times. It's late night. For some reason, I find myself inside a large rectangular-shaped tent at a fair or a circus, I guess. There's only 2 entrances and exits, one at each far end of the tent. And I'm walking to the other end until a silhouette of a little person appears at the other end. And when he spots me, he starts screaming at the top of his lungs and runs straight into the tent. And I find myself panicking, trying to wake up. I've had those dreams in my early teens, but they're so vivid still. Thank you, Groggy Golem and Elizabeth, for sharing those.
Yeah.
We had a couple more, but we'll wait till the end of the show to share those. Those were pertinent for this. But yeah, dude, I mean, sleep paralysis is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
And it's those.
Yeah,
I don't envy a person that deals with it on a daily basis.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
No. No, it was right. But there's that shared symbology. And again, I don't know if this is just like a chicken or the egg thing where people have talked about sleep paralysis and talked about seeing a shadow man. So then everyone that has sleep paralysis is going to see a shadow man. You know what I mean? Where it's this kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. Or if there is something, cat, would you stop? Can you hear that? The cat is digging.
No.
It is sitting here digging into a thing next. I mean, it's probably 2 feet away from my microphone, just digging into something. It's this old suitcase.
Making biscuits, man.
Yeah, she is. She's making biscuits and 10:46 at night.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw me trip over my cat as I went through the Yeah. I was like, Mario, please, I'm going to kill you on accident. He's going to burst like a fat balloon.
For a minute.
You're gonna step on him and he's gonna go back to a kitten.
Oh, that's cute.
That'd be wonderful.
That's sweet. There's a nice. I go stomp the shit out of this cat and get my kitten back.
Be a kitten again.
Oh my God! Local man stomps cat to death in misguided attempt to turn it into kitten.
I was sleepwalking.
You know, they've always said Florida man. You know, we need a good Kentucky man, though.
Oh God, we're gonna have to put a trigger warning at the beginning of this episode, Travis. I think just for like themes and stuff. I do, especially since we read Elizabeth's dream. Yeah. So sleep paralysis. So Cody, have you ever had it again?
No, I hadn't had it before and haven't had it since.
Yeah. Aaron, Lee, Travis, you guys said never.
Nope. The closest thing I could think of is I remember falling asleep, waking up. Like, I don't know if I dreamt I wake up or I woke up, and on the wall I could see a face moving around in a towel that I had hanging up. I had like a telescope.
Wait, was the towel up here or down here? Was this like a sexy dream or a racist dream? Where are we at?
Why
No,
is it
it was like
options?
the towel was hung up on the telescope, and like I could see almost like somebody had put the towel on, like it had went up and it turned around and there was a face in the towel, like somebody had put the towel over their face.
Oh, like a face, like pressing, not like a bed sheet ghost.
No,
like
no,
over.
No, like a face, like the towel within the face. Like
yeah, okay, yeah, that's terrifying.
Yeah, and when I didn't do anything. I can move. It wasn't like I was frozen. I was just too scared to because I was a kid. When I woke up, the towel was on the floor, and I can only assume that the towel fell. And I just had this dream about this towel, but that's the closest thing I could say to that.
I'm waiting for like a listener or a viewer to comment like, who's that in the background on Lee's camera or something? You know, like, we're talking about this and we'll watch back. You just see like somebody move across or who's that in the background? Whose face popped into the background on Aaron's or something behind me? Oh my God, I've creeped myself out a little bit.
Yeah, dude, I do that. God, what was it? I played a game a while back that maybe it was Silent Hill. I was constantly I was writing the script for it. And I kept like jerking and looking around. I was like, what the flip? You know? So, I need to get like a mirror to put right here or something so I can just look behind me constantly.
God, I'd be terrified of. I get that way on the highway when I'm driving down the highway and I listen to audiobooks, and so when constantly, and I would drive and I'd listen to scary stories, or I'd listen to all my Lovecraft books on tape, and then I would look in the rear view mirror, and every time I looked in the rear view mirror, I'm like, someone's going to be in my back seat. Someone's going to be in my back seat.
You know,
hey, I still check mine.
I've had that fear ever since GTA 5. If you've played GTA 5, you know why.
Urban Legend did that for me. That movie, Urban Legend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like I always check my back seat. I have for like since I started driving.
I just keep mine full of shit. I just keep mine so full of shit nobody can get back.
I'm really bad for like I see things and then my brain just can't stop thinking like, well, what if that happened to you? And it's like, this was a TV show. Like, this stuff is out there, and it's like, well, yeah, but somebody had the idea, which means somebody else can have that idea. I like the example that I give is it was some detective show. I don't remember what it was. It could have been CSI. It could have been whatever, but it was one of those shows. And the like bad guy of the week or whatever for the episode, he was going around putting like, he would slide bombs under people's driver's seats. So like when they sat down, it would trigger the bomb, but it wouldn't go off until they like stood up. Not like obviously an in the moment, very tense and scary thing. But I remember seeing that, and then like for a solid 2 weeks, every time I got in my car, I would bend down and look under the driver's seat, like no bomb there.
I'm about to get assassinated.
Yeah.
It was scary stories to tell in the dark that did it for me. And reading that when I was a kid, and the high beams is the story.
Harold, dude.
Harold, yeah, it was good. Dude, I'd love to do a whole episode on scary stories to tell in the dark. We talked about it. If you guys go back, listeners, if you go back to our like first ever October season, so when we did this is before Travis actually came on and had a speaking role. We did our what do we find scary breakdowns. We did, Aaron and I went on and did one, and then Cody and Lee did one, and then we did our history of horror for the month. But we talked about all kinds of like what we find terrifying, because it's October, spooky month, spooky season. It's a very important time to nerds, all nerds. So we love it. All right, we got anything else we want to add for dreams? Anybody got any dreams they want to talk about? Anything?
I guess I do want to jump back, because I just remembered like the driving dream that I was talking about, like right before I hit something or whatever. I have actually collided with things before.
Okay.
But it's like Gmod style. I was going to say GTA style, but it's closer to like Gmod style, where I like hit whatever it is, a car, a wall. Sometimes it's been a wall. And I'm like reeling, not in pain, but in annoyance, where I'm like, oh man, I hit the thing. Oh, I want a do-over. And then all of a sudden everything's fixed.
I'm sorry, Travis. Aaron's just like mummy Rosa from the darkness.
I saw his face like fade away. That's why I said, where's Aaron?
He's done that twice now.
I saw it until
you got me the first time too. I was like, oh.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like I've had those things where it's like I hit and like my car's all messed up, and I'm like, no, God, I want a do-over, and then just my car's fixed now, and I'm just like back on the road. Who knows? Dreams are weird. That's what I took away from this conversation.
Yeah.
So let's
That's a fact.
Yeah. It's wild, man, because like I said, and like we talked about, you can have a dream about something you know nothing about. Something that did not happen to you. That's, we talked about the flaw in Freud's logic, right? Or Freud's analysis, and the nightmares are so illogical. Why are we purposefully making ourselves feel like that?
Are y'all aware of the fact that this was something that blew my mind when I learned about dreaming? Every person that you have ever seen in your dream, even if it's someone you don't recognize, is someone you have seen. Even if it was for like a split second, your subconscious has saved what that person looked like to use in your dreams. That's like really weird.
It feels like kind of what AI does, like with the internet. So
kind of piece together.
Your brain just goes, let's do this.
Like that, that was the thing. Like I remember I was on some social media or whatever, and somebody posted a thing, and you're like, do you remember what AI videos looked like when AI first started making videos? And it's this nonsense. You're like, I think that's Shaquille O'Neal in the video, but he's like, his head's like this big or whatever. And I was sitting there watching those, and I was just like, that's what my dreams look like. Legitimately, it's just so that's what a dream is. Like that's the perfect encapsulation of.
That's all AI is. It just feeds off of our dreams.
We do live in a simulation.
What are you talking about, Morpheus? What do you got going on?
What are you gonna do about it?
So speaking of Morpheus, I wanted to talk just real short, kind of closing thoughts on dream worlds in fiction. Like, what do we like? Like, are there any like particular dream worlds that you guys enjoy in fiction, or in our media? Right. So I mean, the Dreamland. So H.P. Lovecraft's Dreamlands. Like that's one of the quintessential realms of beyond.
Psychonauts would be the biggest thing I could think of.
Psychonauts, yeah.
Psychonauts does a lot. It's mostly mental escapes, but they involve a lot of the dream aspects, including nightmares.
Yeah,
I got I feel like I got an obscure one. What about Little Nemo and Dreamland sort of idea?
I know. That Little Nemo, is that the one riding the bed?
Yes.
Yeah, Little Nemo.
It's a comic strip first or whatever.
Yeah, I remember watching the I get that confused with Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
Oh, that's fair. I can see why.
Yeah. But yeah, I remember he's kind of dark-headed, right? Was he wearing his jammies?
Yep. Yeah, it was a comic that later became a
cartoon, right?
Movie and a video game.
1989.
Yeah, the comic strip was like 20 something, maybe. I mean, it was forever ago.
Really?
Jeez. I think it was.
I saw it when I was looking up stuff. I saw Little Nemo and it reminded me. I mean, again, another cartoon I saw at Sean's update video. Shout out to Sean's.
That's actually where I learned about it too, dude. I have a VHS copy of that because of that, because I was like, nostalgia. Yeah. Let's see. New York Herald, October 15th, 1905 is when that comic came out. Wow. Yeah. Old as dirt.
Years old now.
Wow.
It was also an NES game.
Yep.
No. I like the more like abstract versions of the dream world.
Yeah.
And like what I mean by that is like I take Cyberpunk as an example, Cyberpunk 2077, where like there are these moments where your character gets in this tub of ice and they literally delve into like the network of everything. But it kind of has this like when you load into it, like you can see like the features on a person's face, but only like the sockets, like they don't have eyes. You can see where a mouth would be, but there is no mouth. And then this idea of just they are being broken down into zeros and ones, and like that's how this world interprets a person. Like how it is interpreting the stream of consciousness in a digital format.
Well, that's kind of like
which I think is so cool.
That's like an earmark of a dream world, right? Like things almost have to be absurd or weird or markedly stray from the norm of the waking world, other than when we look at something like The Matrix, where the dream that the humans are in is the waking world, and then the Matrix is the other thing. So, but you look at something like, again, Neverland or Wonderland from Alice. I mean, I think Wonderland's probably like the quintessential dream world, right? Yeah. Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland.
So Yu-Gi-Oh archetype actually that is all about dreams. I think I want to say it may actually be called the Dream Mirror archetype. But like one of the big things about that archetype in the game, from what I understand of it, is there's like the dream side of the cards, and then there's like the nightmare side, and the whole thing is like you're bouncing them around. So like the dream ones are out, but they can pull out the nightmares, and then the nightmares can pull out the dreams and stuff like that. Really interesting. Good art too.
Cody, did you mention your favorite dream world?
So I was trying to think. I don't know if I can really think of one. I know beforehand you had mentioned Never-Ending Story. It's kind of, that one's good. I guess the Persona series in a way has one because there's always there's a mementos is like a subconscious of reality as you're exploring it.
Persona 5 especially in that remark because everything goes off of people's cognitions.
Yeah.
And what is the dream world if not it's your subconscious literally coming from the word cognition.
Yeah. And I mean you go in and explore people's minds in that. So it's in a way a dream world.
I mean,
Inception. And if we're talking about ones we hate, The Ring, it's awful.
Inception, right? Probably one of the most famous contemporary culture dream worlds.
I forgot about Inception.
The world of Inception, where they're going into a dream within a dream within a dream. We need to go deeper. Yeah. Dreamception, right?
It's like a good movie. I need to watch it again.
Yeah, there's a book that I really wanted to read by Philip K. Dick, and I haven't got a chance to read it. It's The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. And it is very much this kind of like dive into hallucinations and altered reality and what is true, and you have an unreliable narrator, and it just seems really cool. And I haven't had a chance to read that yet.
I just remembered Earthbound has a dream world in it.
And they actually they mentioned it on the
Magic Ant.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
we can't.
I mean, in World of Warcraft, you have the Emerald Dream. You have the Emerald Dream and the Emerald Nightmare. The incursion of the void into the emerald, the corruption of the Emerald Dream, which is where all the life energy of Azeroth kind of pools into. The corruption of the Emerald Dream is the Emerald Nightmare, and there are all kinds of void aberrations. It is literally the introduction of the void in there. We will see there's Il'gynoth and all these different outer gods and old ones that have kind of corrupted the Emerald Nightmare there. Went through.
I got 3 games to hit y'all with for Dream Worlds.
We got
one of them. Well, first off, major humongous spoilers for Final Fantasy X.
I apologize for coughing, everybody, if I'm irking.
But like Final Fantasy X's whole thing is Titus-ish main character,
Mm-hmm.
It is more a summon though.
Yeah.
Everything still takes place in the real world.
But then you have Link's Awakening and Super Mario Brothers 2. Link's Awakening is all a dream.
Mario 2, yeah.
Yeah, and Mario 2.
What about Kirby and Dreamland?
It's literally a Dreamland.
It's where he's at. Yeah, I would put Silent Hill in there.
This is one for you.
That Silent Hill is this kind of very ethereal, otherworldly, almost like dream eldritch incursion into the real world. You guys have probably played a lot more Silent Hill than I have. What?
You know what else is Dream World? The world of Bloodborne. You are literally in the dream.
It's the Hunter's Nightmare.
That's well, and I was just getting ready to say that. Like
you have the Hunter's Dream and the Hunter's Nightmare.
And you have the Hunter's Nightmare. And like a lot of the stuff in Bloodborne is dealing with that concept of, I mean, one of the bosses is literally like, his whole deal is he's just like, I'm living like in a nightmare, but it's a nightmare that I have.
He's the host of the nightmare.
Yeah, the host of the nightmare.
Well, Bloodborne's that corruption and perversion, right? So you have a lot of Lovecraftian elements coming through Bloodborne, that kind of, and we see that a lot with nightmare stuff, especially in horror movies, that where these nightmares are perversions of reality to a point where it is hallucinatory or sanity affecting, right? We're is something where it is that kind of recurring imagery or recurring theme of breaking down someone because they can't trust reality anymore, right? And a lot with horror that deals with dreams and nightmares. Have any of you guys watched the or read the comics, but watched primarily the Sandman series on Netflix?
I watched on Netflix. Yeah,
I've seen clips. Sandman is one of those books that has been on my read list for years now, and I want to watch the show too.
It's good. It's good. It is. I love what they've done. Like the environment, the world building is really good. I haven't gotten a chance to watch the second season, but I love the first season. That was really, really good.
I've started the second season, but I haven't finished it.
No. All right. Anybody want to add anything else before we do our final fan submission, and call it a night here?
This has been a very fun conversation about all this. I mean,
Absolutely.
this has been
Very enjoyable.
yeah.
It's been a little creepy, been a little happy, been a little funny. It's got a lot of good stuff in it. This is our first episode for Spooky Month. We got another episode coming up. We're finalizing the topic on that. I think we know what it is, but I won't spoil anything. So check that out. Thank you everyone for listening. We still want to hear from you. If you want to submit if you've had a particularly jarring or significant dream or nightmare or episode of sleep paralysis you want to share with us, by all means, share it. If we get enough input, we will do a follow-up episode to this where we read those out if you're willing to. If you want to remain anonymous, please make sure you say so. That being said, submit them to hillshavenerds@gmail.com or check us out on Facebook, Discord. You can message them there. We have one final listener submission before we close off, and that is from Matt S. Shout out to Matt, good friend of us. We all grew up with Matt. And this is, let's see if you guys recognize the name. I probably shouldn't say it out loud, but probably won't say the name. Let's say what their role was. I used to have this recurring dream that the zombie apocalypse came, and I was the only one who knew how to defeat the zombies, which was hitting them in the chest putty patrol style, and they'd go up in a cloud of smoke. So here I am fighting off a horde of zombies, and our elementary school principal from Robinson Creek Elementary came to my rescue. Now, Aaron knows who I'm talking about. Came to my rescue, Xena warrior princess style. And if anybody knows this woman, she was in, I don't know what, she's pushing 60, probably. I just remember, I was very young, but I remember her being old. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, I don't think she was that old. I think I'm doing the little kid, everyone looks old thing. But just the mental image of her doing the Xena yell and flipping over, doing the flips in is fantastic. Thank you for that, Matt. And I'm glad she saved you from the evil Putty Patrol zombies. That's great. Well, guys, that's it. Let's close out. Lee, where can the good people find you if they want to get more of you?
Dude, I would appreciate y'all checking me out on YouTube if you're into retro RPGs or if you're into spooky stuff. So if you listen to this, you might be into it. I have a Spooky Bro Lee channel where it's we talk about spooky games, and then I have Pixel Bro Lee, which is about retro RPGs. And then I'm also on Twitch at Pixel Bro Lee, and then basically just anywhere you can find, like if you search the handle Pixel Bro Lee, not the Dragon Ball Z character, you'll find me somewhere. So Twitch, YouTube, whatever. I stream games. Be happy to have you there. I really appreciate you checking out the content. Thank you.
All right, Cody, where can the good people find you?
Hanging out in the Discord mainly. Stream occasionally. I've unfortunately missed the last couple of weeks because I've not been home in like 2 weeks. But usually just a once a week thing. It's twitch.tv/coffee break lounge.
All right, Travis?
You can find me trolling around in the Discord, or now you can find me working at the gaming company.
Yeah, go visit him.
Yep. Shout out to the gaming company in Pikeville. I don't know where Aaron's went.
In your nightmares.
He did that. All right, that's what. You know what? Don't find Aaron. Just don't.
It's probably for the best.
If
Don't find Aaron. Aaron finds you.
If you have a dream about us and you tell us, we will send you something. Just letting you know. The sexier, the better.
You can find Aaron sleepwalking through your house, turning on all the lights. KDP's game.
Find Aaron searching for vitamin water desperately.
If I
Down in the tail patch.
get a call from KUP, I know what it is.
Yeah, don't blame your kids for that. Blame
Activating my
Aaron.
sleeper agent again.
Find me turning on all the lights.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like, yelling at my daughters about it. I'll be like, Aaron was here. I know it.
I know.
Well, good people out there, good nerds. If you have dreams about us, if you dream of the nerds, where can you tell us? How can you tell us? You can reach out to us again at hillshavenerds@gmail.com. You can find our Facebook. You can come talk about all the great nerdy things we're getting into. We share memes. We talk about upcoming projects, stuff like that. We share the podcast episodes. You can come inside our Discord. There's links to all this in the show notes, all of our social medias. You can find us on YouTube if you're not watching on YouTube right now. Come and have great conversation. Tell us what your dreams are. We want to know your dreams. We know your aspirations. We want to know what scares you. We want to know your nightmares. What are your fears? All that good stuff. If you want to support the nerds, again, shout out to our Ko-Fi members, Nick Rosa and Brittany Johnston. Thank you guys so much. Your donations do so much to help make the podcast great. Come check us out on Coffee. We got links to that down the show notes. We have rewards for membership tiers, all that good stuff there. Other than that, I think we're good. Everybody to sleep tight. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And sweet dreams to all of you out there in nerddom. With that, we'll see you next time.
I'm off to my hellscape that is my dreamland.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
2,
3,
4. All right.
Thank you, Lee.
What is that from?
Tangled.
It's Tangled.
Oh.
I'm a
Tangled-
Disney adult.
Tangled always messed me up because all the woman had to do to not have Rapunzel figure out when her birthday was not tell her that her birthday was when the lanterns were. She had to have told her that. Like, the woman keeping her in the tower had to have told her when her birthday was. Everything else was a lie. Why the hell not lie about that? That's the only thing that made her.
Birthdays are sacred, Josh.
No, that's dumb.
Sacred.
If you're gonna be evil,
Mother
go
Gothel.
full fucking hog or don't. Like, there's no in between like that. That's
Because then we wouldn't have a movie.
Mother Gothel was like, well, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, I'm not a mom.
I'm
Trap
evil,
her
but
in
I'm
a
not
tower,
that evil.
but I'm not a monster. Yeah.
Your birthday's the day after those lanterns.
Yeah,
My bad.
could have been like 5 days before. Man, if only, right? That would have been cool if it lined up, but it doesn't. There's nothing significant about you at all. And nope.
Man, those lanterns are so close to your birthday.
Yeah, she could have told her she was born on Christmas or something. Hell, half of the presents right there. Merry birth, Miss Rapunzel. There you go. Isn't it crazy you and Jesus share a birthday? That's great. All right, anyway, let's get into this episode.